Hello, Scoopta here with a tutorial on making generative art NFTs on fxhash. So to start out, I recommend going on fxhash and reading the guide to mint a generative token. It explains everything I'm going to talk about here and more. Once you've read that, go to the section called 3 Ways to Start a Project and click the Webpack boilerplate link, which will take you to GitHub. You should definitely also read the readme.md file. I use it as a guide when making my first project as well as with this video. The Webpack boilerplate is a template made by fxhash that is ready to use and makes this whole process much easier. To use the fxhash Webpack boilerplate, you will need to install node.js. I also installed git bash, but I believe you can use something else if you'd prefer. While those install, it's not a bad time to create the folder where you will save your project. Once you have created the folder, copy the address to it, and then open up git bash. You will need to change the current directory to your new folder, so type cd and paste the address of your folder, then press enter. Then head back to the GitHub page and scroll to the top where there is a green button that says code. Click the button and copy the HTTPS address. With that copied, go back to git bash and type git clone, paste the address, and press enter. This copies the Webpack boilerplate to the folder on your computer. Go to your project folder and open the new boilerpack folder inside of it. Copy that address and change the current directory in git bash to that. Once you have changed the cd, type npm -i and press enter. This installs the packages required to run the local environment. Once these are installed, type npm -start and then press enter again. If you have done everything correctly so far, this will open localhost in your browser, which shows your project and automatically reloads when you save or refresh the page. Saving your project or refreshing the page generates a new random hash each time, allowing you to test your code and see different outputs. Now that you have the local environment set up, open your text editor. Personally, I use Atom. In your text editor, open a new file and save it as whatever you want, .js. Make sure you save this in the public folder inside of the fxhash Webpack boilerplate folder. I'm naming my file sketch.js. In this JavaScript file, you can do all the coding for your project. Whenever you save your progress, it will be updated in the browser, which comes in very clutch for troubleshooting. Also inside of the public folder is a file called index.html. In this file, you will need to import your .js file in order for it to run. The public folder also contains a CSS file. So, for example, if you want to change the light blue background or center your art on the web page, you can do it there. When you upload your project to fxhash, it will not be able to access any external resources. So, if you need any libraries to run your code, for example like p5.js, you need to copy that into the public folder and import it into index.html as well. You should also create a file called license.md and save it in the public folder. In this file, include the licensing material you wish to license your generative art under. This dictates what people can use it for when they buy your NFTs. Also include any licensing info from the libraries you use in your code. All of this is outlined in the fxhash Code of Conduct, which you should definitely read before publishing any projects. Include a comment in your .js file and a comment in the index.html file about the license.md file. Contained in the src folder is a file called index.js. This is where you can make token features or traits that are generated in your code. Something I do when I'm testing is add in some code that displays the features on the web page. Use a $ and curly brackets, and in the brackets you can put window.$fxhash features with brackets at the end, and in the brackets put the name of the feature that you established above. When you are all done with your code, you can get rid of this text from the web page by commenting out the line that says document.body.prepend container. On fxhash, the generative art is derived from the transaction hash created when someone clicks mint on your collection. This Webpack boilerplate comes with a handy little function called fxrand, which gives you a pseudo-random number that comes from the hash. You can call this as many times as you want in your script and use it to determine the token features or properties in your code. For example, let's set the variable a equal to fxrand. The value of a is dependent on the hash, and for the same hash, a will always be the same, so that any given token will be the same anytime you look at it. We can test out this variable by setting the feature we created earlier, background, to a. Then, we could do something like use a to calculate the color of the background in the sketch.js file. When you're done writing your code, you can go back to Git Bash and press Ctrl+C. Then type npm run build, enter, and package everything up. This will create two new folders inside of fxhash webpack boilerplate, dist and dist-zipped. Everything you need for your project is in the dist-zipped folder in a zip file called project. To test your project on fxhash, you can use the sandbox feature. At the time of recording this video, the sandbox only works with the browser Google Chrome, so make sure you use that. All you have to do is go to the sandbox and drag in your project.zip file. So that's the basic rundown of creating a project on fxhash. If you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you check out my profile, Scoopta, on fxhash. The link is in the description. Thanks!